Conversion here.
Well, the veteran for Montreal defensively, first of all, is going to cause all kinds of problems for Kevin Glenn. There's John Bowman. He's coming off the edge and watch his inside pass rush. This is what causes Glenn to get out of there and try to escape. He does that successfully, finds a man downfield, and moves the chains.
18 for Grant, first down at the Roughrider 51. Here comes pressure. Brandon Bridge is in. Carter dropped the football, and the pass is incomplete. Well, a quick change there. Another former Alouette quarterback comes in for Chris Jones, and it's a drop by Duron Carter.
Well, Chris Jones did this when he was the head coach in Edmonton, to bring in the backup quarterback to run a play or two or even a full series. And Brandon Bridge, the Canadian that attended South Alabama, is the backup quarterback in Saskatchewan. Won the job through camp in the preseason.
Terrific first preseason game, over 200 yards in about half the game. Glenn over the middle, incomplete off the fingertips of Roosevelt and almost intercepted. There's the new safety for the Alouettes, Chris Ackey, in the neighborhood.
Chris Ackey was there. I think the ball was tipped by Travis Hawkins, who has moved to the halfback spot, and he's playing beside Jonathan Mincy. So Ackey was there close to that interception on the tip, but I believe it was Travis Hawkins that got his hands on it.
So Bartell back in to punt. Average 45.1 last year. Just a 32-yarder on his first kick. Logan awaits. Fielding at the 20, ducked under the first wave, and a flag comes down. 38-yard punt. There's the Grey Cup hero from a year ago, also wearing different colors. Remember that overtime catch? It was a no-yards penalty against Mike Edom, moves the football up 15 yards, and the third series of this opening quarter for Darian Durant.
Almost 30,000 yards he'll get there this year, but that was as a Saskatchewan Roughrider. 109 games started since '09, more than any other CFL quarterback. Of course, the two Grey Cups. He was a backup in '07, but led the team to the championship in '13.
4 for 5, 27 yards to start, number 16 all time in CFL passing. Hands it off, Sutton straight ahead, and Sutton will get about 5. Toby Antigua hanging on. Well, we talked about Durant saying all the right things, but candidly yesterday admitted the move has hurt.
It was tough. It was tough because, you know, you think about the history and all you've been through in Saskatchewan, and then, you know, to have it all kind of taken away from you because of personal feelings, you know, it's tough. But at the end of the day, that's a part of the game, and I understand that.
Slant pattern on 2nd and 5, and the catch is made by Nick Lewis. His first catch of the season, number 978 in his terrific career. Number 4 all time, closing in on 1,000 catches and closing in on G. Roy Simon for most catches all time.
Yeah, Durant will lean on the veteran big time this year.
First down 46, and back into the hands of Sutton. Adjusts the football, but can't turn the corner. Sam Williams steps up and makes another tackle.
Yeah, and I mentioned off the top that both Chris Jones and Darian Durant were saying the right things yesterday, that they, you know, for Durant saying that he's looking forward to this opportunity, working with Anthony Calvillo. Chris Jones saying, hey, he likes his team. He's got Kevin Glenn as his veteran, looking for that number 2 guy in behind him, and he thinks Brandon Bridge has upside potential. But you could tell when, especially in that clip and when I took a walk with him, that it still is something that's really frustrating for him and disappointing, but he gets it.
2nd and 8. Durant had that pass tipped. Ed Geaney with the knockdown, and the Alouettes stalled again.
And I said to Darian Durant, just to wrap it up, I said, well, listen, it'll probably only be a big story for just this one game. And he went, yeah, until October when I head back to Saskatchewan.
Well, we had a In a sense, it might be a bit of a shootout here, but it doesn't look like we're going to match July 1, the season opener in 2010. What a great kick that was by Beattie as he bounces that out just inside the 10-yard line. 47 into the corner for Morris Beattie. So 15 seconds left in the quarter. Remember 2010, and a season opener for the ages, 54-51 in overtime. Anthony Calvillo dueling with Darian Durant on that day.
Yeah, that doesn't happen very often. Usually defenses are ahead of the offenses to start the season.
First down at the 10. Fake inside. Carter with the catch, and he'll get tagged down by a Bear close to a first down. Now they're saying incomplete.
Waving that off.
And that'd be a second drop for Carter here in the first half. And that is the end of the opening quarter. When we come back, it'll be 2nd and 10. Roughriders deep in their own territory. Well, we expected fireworks, but so far, no score in the season opener between the Roughriders and the Alouettes at Percival Molson Stadium. Defense is ahead of the offenses here in the opening quarter of game 1.
Well, for defenses coming out of training camp, it's pretty simple. Once you've got your group that's going to be your starters, then you say to them, go to the ball. That's what you say to all 12 guys. Offensively, it's about timing. It's about getting on the same page, quarterback and receivers. And both new quarterbacks on these teams, new talent around them, it may take a little time.
I guess the reason I thought it might be 54-51 instead of scoreless is because there's a lot of young faces on both defenses, but both sides had very effective defenses in the opening quarter.
Well, yeah, and you're talking about the secondary of both teams, too, I think, Chris, and you're right. There's some new faces back in the back end for both teams.
So we start the second quarter, 2nd and 10. Roughriders trying to dig out of the hole, and a pass over the middle for Curry Grant. Can't reel it in. Isolated against the middle linebacker, Tovell.
Dominique Tovell makes a nice break here on the football, and that was basically what he did, because it looked like a zone concept where Tovell, the middle linebacker, was going to drop back into the middle and then just float to the football when the ball was thrown by Kevin Glenn. Does that textbook. Gets the knockdown.
Now the Bear Woods decision got a lot of notice in this town. We can't say that Woods was let go for Tovell because he didn't come in until after Bear Woods had been released by the Alouettes. Now with Toronto. Bartel's boot fielded at the Alouette 50 by Logan, who slides off one hit, but now is dropped at the 54-yard line.
Montreal and Darian Durant's going to want to take advantage of this field position that they've had in the first quarter and now into this second quarter. And to do that, you got to get the ball to Ernest Jackson. There's his numbers as an Ottawa Red Black. You mentioned the big catch in the Grey Cup in overtime for Ernest Jackson. And what was interesting to me is that of the 4 1,000-yard receivers that Ottawa had last year, Ernest Jackson was targeted the fewest of the 4. And yet was up there in yardage, took full advantage of his opportunity.
Tied for second in touchdowns last year. Durant goes back into the hands of Perchalski, a former second-round draft choice of the Roughriders. But let's go back to Ernest Jackson, and I asked him yesterday, everybody remembers the bobble. Did he have nightmares in the offseason about maybe dropping that pass?
No, honestly, I've never had like that nightmare because it's just more of a, like, in that moment I was just so focused on, really I was so excited because I thought I had a touchdown at first. That was the reason I bobbled the ball, because I was looking for the end zone before I caught the ball. But in that moment, it was just more like, oh, I need to take care of this ball. Like, it wasn't that moment I'm going to drop it. I never had that thought.
There's a guy who knows how to take care of the ball, Nick Lewis, but a flag on the play. We'll see if this one's coming back.
Yes, it happens to pros as well, but young receivers catch the ball first. Don't look and see if you've got a touchdown before you secured it.
Saw that wide open lane to the end zone, eyes lit up. before he double clutched it to make the biggest catch of his life.
All Canadian last year.
Offside, Saskatchewan, number 96. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
Zach Minter in the interior of that defensive line jumped the gun there. I think that would have been first down territory for Nick Lewis anyway.
Like they're going to take the, they've declined the penalty. Nick
Montreal.
Lewis got them a first down. So
And I think a yard on top of it.
So second catch for Lewis. 70 yards needed coming into the game to pass Ray Elgard into 7th place on the all-time receiving yardage list. Nick's climbing the ladder. Here's a fly sweep. B.J. Cunningham got the corner. The flags are flying.
Ernest Jackson threw a block on Sam Williams, first-year linebacker for Saskatchewan. I'm not sure if that was a legal block. I caught it late, but that's where the flags flew, and he was also engaged on the outside there.
Retenue, Montreal, number 9. 10-yard penalty, repeat, first down.
See Ernest Jackson engaged there. He's okay until he hangs on for that extra second on Javon Johnson.
Yeah, his old teammate during training camp anyway. Jackson new to Montreal, and Johnson going full circle back with the Saskatchewan Roughriders where it began back in 2007. So a holding penalty, 1st and 20. Durant, an errant pass intended for Jackson, being watched once again by Javon Johnson.
Quick pressure there on Darian Durant, and he just wasn't able to set up and throw. Even a hitch pass, you need to set up and throw correctly. Yeah, they brought in the veteran to try and stabilize that secondary. Some issues in the secondary in the preseason, especially to the wide field for Chris Jones. So he brings in the veteran, Javon Johnson.
So 2nd and 20. Durant underneath, catch is made. Tyquan Underwood, and Johnson holds on to make that play. So a good defensive series for Javon Johnson, who hasn't even been with the Riders for a week.
Well, he steps up, and against his team who let him go, he steps up and makes a couple of plays. That was a bad penalty by Ernest Jackson as they were approaching. Montreal was approaching the scoring zone.
So Beatty looks for the corner once again, this time in the hands of Collins. Ricky Collins trying to get outside, a flag down, and he'll get drilled down on the play by former Rough Rider Tyree Hollins. All the X-guys are getting involved, aren't they? So Saskatchewan football, when we come back, Eamon Roosevelt trying to kickstart this Rough Rider offense. CFL's opening weekend continues tomorrow. Friday night football gets the Stamps and the Red Blacks rematch of last year's epic Grey Cup. Coverage begins 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific across the TSN network. Rod and Dwayne will have it for you, and our Fab Four on the panel making their way to Ottawa after this game.
Bo Levi Mitchell, #1 player on our top 50 list.
And I don't think there was a big argument about that.
No, not at all.
Penalty against the Rough Riders, backs them up, and a knockdown there. Mitzi on the corner has had a good start working against Duron Carter.
Yeah, I don't think Duron Carter has a catch yet. Drop early, and the attempt to get him to football there, and Kevin Glenn's got to be careful not to try and force it to him, but it will be tempting. This athleticism at that short side wideout position, working in tandem with Naaman Roosevelt. Really want to get him the ball early.
4 straight incompletions for Kevin Glenn. 2nd and 10. Ball on the Rough Riders 7. Glenn going to air it. Wants Carter, and Mitzi makes the play. Looked like Carter had a step, but Jonathan Mitzi out of Auburn makes the defensive play.
Well, Kevin Glenn had a play here because Deron Carter was in behind coverage, or maybe Mincy was just slow playing this with great confidence on a tremendous receiver athletically in Carter, because Carter has a step. You can see him up at the top of your screen, and he's headed right to the hole. If that ball has a little more air on it, that might be Carter still running.
Does Chris Jones elect to punt or give up 2? He's punting it out. Bartell drills it near midfield. Logan on the Riders' side of half, and he'll be brought down around the 46-yard line. Enoch Mwamba with the tackle. Flag on the play. After a 45-yard punt, we'll sort it out when we come back. Join us at the half of the GMC Professional Grade Playbook. Tonight, Milt tells us when it's good to be slow. What would he know about that?
Well, he doesn't know. Well, I'm not sure, but we'll find out. And I'm hoping the answer is it's good to be slow always. You know, I think there's a few players. He wasn't slow, though.
Penalty against Mikel Charlon. And here's Logan trying to get outside. And be a horse collar tackle call on A.C. Leonard. Mikel Charlon had been flagged for unnecessary roughness that took the football back 15 yards, and now they'll move it back across the Roughrider side of half.
Major foul, horse collar tackle, Saskatchewan, number 99. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Converted tight end just in front of the linebacker right there is A.C. Leonard. Just in front of Sam Williams. And let's take a look at the tackle. He's okay there. He can't. It's jersey or harness. And if it's a back and down motion, it'll be called. And that one, no question.
So first down, a fake to Sutton, a throw to Lewis. Takes that off the shoe tops, and Lewis will get dragged down at the 42-yard line. I was surprised reading some of the stats for Nick that he was number 2 in the league last year in yards after the catch. He's a tough man to tackle, we all know that, but number 2 in the league in that department, and he will soon be number 1 in receptions.
Yeah, another 1,000-yard season, and that's his reception totals. He'll climb into that 1,000 mark and stays healthy.
Second down, Durant will spin it deep. What's Underwood? Can't make the catch. Up against Chris Lyles, the newcomer in that Rough Rider secondary.
Well, it looked like he had something there, Durant to Taekwon Underwood, and Underwood, who's going to run this corner route right here, he just looks like he's running a little recklessly rather than keeping his arms tight to his body. Milt Siegel will tell you about this. Looks like as he comes out of his break there, see how he gets a little wild and then he loses the football, but Durant can't throw it any better.
So the Alouettes continue to squander good field position here in the first half, and Beatty will look for the pin. Dembski back. This one will go out inside the 5. Whoa. Boris Beatty nails another one inside the 10, a 38-yard punt. But a missed opportunity there as Durant had an open Taekwon Underwood, who couldn't make the catch. It's in here at Percival Molson Stadium. A little rain in the forecast, but they say it won't be here till about 11 o'clock. Game will be over. All we need now are some points. Offense up 16% from 2 years ago in scoring. But so far, no points tonight. And a flag down before this play gets off.
You can see what this flag is. Boy, the Riders offensively look like they had a nice play call based on the defense that Montreal was throwing at them, because
procedure, Saskatchewan, number 66.
That's a big one.
Half the distance, first down repeated.
66 is a rookie, Darius Bladdock, who has had a tremendous camp. He's going to come out now, and they'll readjust he in at a tight end spot?
Yeah, had the extended line with Vladeck outside.
Peter Diakowski at right tackle, right guard, 11-year veteran. Telling me yesterday, first time he's played on the right side in 10 years. So from there, Glenn throwing out of the end zone, and he's got a man. Catch is made by Caleb Hawley over the middle, and that gives Kevin Glenn and the offense some breathing room.
Boy, do they need this play. The Saskatchewan Roughriders have been backed up against their own goal line pretty much for this entire quarter, and it's just going to be this